Well, I want to go through a couple of questions, which you may not particularly like. I'm going to ask you, don't walk out on me. I'm told, listen, you ask John a certain kind of question, and he's liable to just get up, grab your cigarette, and walk out on you.
Well, I have. I did that once. I did that a couple times. I've been known to do that, yeah. But go ahead.
All right, well, I'm asking you not to do it this time.
Okay.
But you know that there are people out there who have said, and not all of them privately, John Mellencamp, you know, he's this left-wing, way out there liberal guy who's against the president, he's against the war, and he just went to Walter Reed to kind of burnish his image and sell a few records, and they see it as, their word, not mine, exploitative.
I can't pay much attention to what those folks say. Those negative type of comments, you know, listen, if I wanted to sell records, I could have done a lot other things than go to Walter Reed, I can tell you that, to play in front of 280 people.
This song goes out to a friend of mine named Joan. Joan, this is for you. Look what Jim Crow's done and gone when changed his name.
You know, from the very beginning, we had mentioned that Joan Baez was going to play. And when it came time to get Joan okayed, they said, well, no, she can't come and play.
Did they say why?
The public word was that there wasn't enough time to get her clearance. But we all knew that the reason was because she had been such an outspoken person against the war in Vietnam, and a lot of these guys, I think, that were at Walter Reed were in Vietnam and saw her as very anti-military, which is exactly the reason Joan wanted to play, because Joan wanted to play to say, you know, I support the troops, I don't support the war, but I do support the troops and I do support these kids coming home, and I think that she should have been allowed to do that. But if you ask them, they're going to tell you, well, they came too late and we didn't have time for clearance. But I can tell you that if it had been Jessica Simpson, she'd have got clearance like that. At least that's how we feel about it. We played in this great little building that was the old Red Cross building that the stage was hardly as big as where we're sitting.
Is this where I'm playing? Great.
I mean, we could barely get the drums and guitar amps and everything. And I mean, I was this far in front of the drummer. Right. You know, generally when you're on stage, you're on a huge stage. But there was hardly enough room to work. And you know, like Bob Hope had played there, and Bing Crosby. And so it had a huge history of people entertaining the troops. There was a lot to be excited about, but there was also maybe more to be apprehensive about. You know, Walter Reed is a beautiful place. It was once upon a time. I mean, you've been there, these great, big, beautiful buildings. But then I found out that they're going to tear Walter Reed down, and it's like, well, wait a minute. We just built this 50 years ago. You're going to tear it down already for what? Because the properties were so much. You know, it's just like, I don't get it. You guys don't want to keep it up anymore? And you can't blame this administration, because this place has been falling down for quite some time. And you can't blame the soldiers that are there. They're only doing what they're told. That's one thing, you know, you really realize when you get involved with the military. They are only doing what they're told to do. So, you know, for me, it was very heartbreaking to see what I thought was the crown jewel of medicine for the United States of America. It's fallen down.
Well, we're having this conversation partly because it's going to be a broadcast. What are your hopes for that?
Well, I don't really have any hopes. I think that, I guess if I have hopes, it would be that people will see that you can support the troops and not support the war. I have never supported the war. I hope that people see that these kids have their best foot forward and are trying to do what the Commander-in-Chief wanted them to do. And I'm there saying, hey, I'm here supporting these guys, and hopefully that you can find a way that you can support these guys when they come home. Because, you know, Dan, flying a flag on your car doesn't mean anything, which is what America did after 9/11, and for years after that said they supported the troops because they flew a flag on their car. It doesn't mean anything. If you're supporting the troops, what are you doing? What are you doing now? I mean, we need troops now. You know, where are these people? Go enlist. If you're going to support, if you support the work, go now. We need you. We need people. So, you know, that type of thinking kind of angers me and is disappointing to me.
Did you go on stage angry?
Yeah. You can't tell it by watching the show, though. I soon got over it because within the first song I saw that the people that were there were enjoying themselves, and I thought, well, you know, is this your ego or is this worried about what's right or what's wrong? I was conflicted about my emotions, so the audience that was there, the kids that were there and the soldiers that were there, they were great. Yeah. They were fantastic. So my mood soon elevated, you know, shortly after the first song.
And when you get into the concert, does it go as you thought it might go, or did it surprise you how it went?
Well, as far as the show goes, as far as my part goes, we were good. We were good, and the show was good, and the song selection was good, and the audience that was there was good, but the highlight was really the entire concert because the people that were there were so fantastic and so grateful. And, you know, it turned out to be exactly what it should have been, which gave me great hope that no matter what the differences are, people surely by talking can rise above a wedge that has been driven between us and become something yet again, something better. And I think that happened with that audience. And it turned out to be a fantastic show.